Got a south wind this afternoon. Perfect to climb into a stand we call high top. Little hidey hole food plot out here in the timber. We've had some really good hunts out of high top. This time of year it's like a switch, flips. High top can be dead, and then there'll be some deer start moving through. And after that, it's on. Just a few nights ago, started noticing big sow, big old mature buck, came through here a little after dark, and ever since then, there's been deer moving through here, so using that information, tell us it's time to get in here when the conditions are right. We'll see what happens. Evan and I just climbed in the stand. This may be one of Grant and I's favorite trees. The tree kind of leans back a bit, so it's a pleasant sit. But this little hidey hole in the middle of this big timber with bedding just to the south and bedding around us, felled cedars, this has been a very productive hidey hole. Little green forage out in the middle of big timber. These little hidey holes this time of year are great because there's some acorns hitting the ground, and deer can mill around, hit acorns, move in and out of this hidey hole, grab a few bites if they want, and then go back into acorns. It's exactly what deer are doing on our Moultrie mobiles. We're seeing a lot of activity in our hidey holes because they're real close to food. They don't have to move much, and they can go acorn, food plot, acorns, food plots. Seeing a lot of daylight activity. A couple years ago, I tagged a nice buck we called Lopper out of this plot. About this time of the year, it was mid-October, and Lopper came in, worked a scrape, which is just right over my shoulder here, came out head down, feeding in that green cover blend. The conditions are right with this strong south wind today for us to slide in and hunt the high top plot. We'll see what happens. That megameat smacked her. 27 yards. Easy. Trailing job. That doe was very cautious, did exactly what we were thinking. Actually, we spotted her. She's circled the entire food plot and came in, picking on acorns as she was going, but going very slow through the woods. But came out, was hit down in that green cover hidey hole blend. We got some venison.
Man, what a night. Ended up just like we were hoping. Fresh venison. And the strategy worked perfectly. Little hidey hole food plot in the middle of the timber where deer feel comfortable sliding between acorns, coming out, grabbing a bite of that old green cover seed hidey hole broadcast blend. And sure enough, this big old nanny doe came slipping around the edge of the food plot, came in, started feeding towards us, and it was all I could do to wait till she turned and gave me that broadside shot. Now she was on edge. I could tell when she came walking in, she was slinking around the edge of the food plot. You could tell she was really working the wind, working this area, and was on edge while she was feeding. Pulled back, put the old Oracle 2 on her. That Oracle 2 is great because I don't have to go up and down with my rangefinder to range her, and then she takes a couple steps by the time I draw back and shoot. Drew back, hit the button, knew exactly how far she was. She was at 27 yards, and I let that old megameat fly. And at 27 yards, you're thinking, man, 27 yards, that's a chip shot. Well, that deer, she reacted, because she was a little bit on edge, and she reacted, so I was aiming at that lower third. We've showed you time and time again, deer that have reacted to a shot, and the arrow hits much higher into the vitals than even where that arrow was going to hit if the deer would have just stood still. So if she would have just stood still, I was aiming right there in the pocket, right there on kind of the corner of the elbow where the white and brown meat, kind of where that heart is. Been practicing on the old Morel target, punching dots, shooting the 3D transformer buck, practicing that lower third, and sure enough, that's where I aimed tonight, and she reacted. And even though she reacted, my arrow hit inside those vitals, and that big old megameat, that 2-inch cutting hole, I love that. Look at how big that hole is. That big hole can really save you. I love this megameat, been shooting it, have shot a pile of deer with it, and just super impressed, and it didn't disappoint tonight. And I mentioned Evan. Evan was in the tree with me tonight, and this was actually his first hunt where we've actually tagged a critter. So Evan did a great job filming. I'm looking forward to seeing his footage and how this hunt comes together, but we're gonna get to work. We've got an easy drag out of here. I'm gonna take it back up here to the interior road and get this baby hung up. Woo! Man, that looks good. Gonna make quick work of this big old doe. Getting some fresh tasting venison. It's gonna taste good. We're gonna get this processed up, make some steaks, do some grinding, and we'll be grilling soon. And I hope you're able to get outside this week. Maybe get out there in the deer stand. There's a cold front moving through our place. But no matter what you're doing, I hope you slow down, enjoy creation, and no matter what, listen to the Creator and the purpose He has for your life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.